I think that we have lost a very important ability that the human being has, and maybe we didn't lose it, but we never really tried to work with it yet, except a very for a very few. And what I'm talking about is to listen inside, listen to oneself. I think that we have been very distracted by overdoing and consuming and living life on the outside when there's an infinite amount of things happening on the inside. And why wouldn't that be interesting to us? Why wouldn't it be interesting to us to learn how to be a human being, to learn how to listen and to discover who this is? And I will give you an example. By the way, I'm not, I am a beginner myself, but I'm talking about that because I experienced at least maybe the surface or whatever it is that I experienced. And so when I say listening to oneself, it's infinite. The listening can be infinite, and can go deeper and deeper and deeper. And it can start like this, like you close your eyes and you a little bit like the cheesy or the cliche thing that we call meditation. I don't like to use the word meditation that much because it's been used so much and it doesn't really make much sense to me when I use it. But I use it because I need to use a word to express what I talk about. So let's say that I want to meditate and sit and listen. This is the most important thing, is to listen. So listen, by what I mean by listening is if I close my eyes or not. But let's say I close my eyes, and when I, what I mean by listening is by being available to what's happening in me. And I'm not only talking about being aware of my breath. This is so superficial, and it doesn't, to me, it doesn't lead to much, except maybe because I've done it so many times. It's boring to me. What I feel like the beginning of listening is by like feeling the heartbeat, and then going a little bit deeper and feel really what the emotions are in me right now in the moment. So, by the way, this is just a very quick comment. When people say that they want to live in the moment, it doesn't necessarily mean to live in the moment like me being here on this balcony and noticing like that there's this here and I'm noticing other people and I'm really living in the moment instead of living in my head. No, 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 that's not necessarily being in the present moment. The present moment can be very internal. It can be very much about you and yourself, and getting deeper and deeper and deeper with yourself, and learning how to handle the intensity that is inside if we become a little bit more attuned to it. Not going too much, and anyway, you won't be successful at going too deep, because you'll go as deep as you can with the tools that you have. But then when you go that deep, there's an understanding that comes, an understanding of how to be with it, how to be with what's happening. So again, like to give it an example, listening. Okay, I'm listening to myself, and it's like being an empty container or an empty vessel that I am, having as a fundamental the faith, the faith that I'll be okay. I'll be okay, feeling what's in me, even though I'm not used to this. And when I say I'm talking about you, I guess, because I feel like I'm like it applies to all of us. But I will say I because I can only talk about, I don't want to project. But you can imagine me say you. So if I listen and I can feel something and I let it be without trying to think about it or to analyze it or to give it a meaning, then I can be with it. And then it will go away. And then I learn how to go a little bit deeper. And maybe if I go a little bit deeper, it happened to me. It won't happen to me now because I'm talking, but it happened to me to feel like energies in me moving. And it can be very comfortable, but we're not used to this kind of comfort because we don't live like that. So when I feel this kind of comfort, because it's like uncharted territory to me, I can stop it or numb it or laugh just to as a reaction because we don't know how to deal with these things. But that's so interesting because again, like we have lost or we haven't really tried to work with ourselves and to go deeper because we've been so busy consuming and doing and going out and meeting all of these people when we don't even know who we are. I'm not saying that it's bad to go meet new people. I love meeting people and talking to people and being in a relationship with somebody and all of that. But there's this relationship here, and we only know the tip of the iceberg that we are. So let's suppose that I'm going even deeper. And maybe something that can happen, because it also happened to me, is that maybe my real present moment, because people like to talk about the present moment, maybe the real present moment that's in us is numb, is being numbed because we don't know how to deal with it and we want to repress it. But if you really want to live your present moment, be available, like I was saying, to yourself, close your eyes, be fully available without doing anything. It's a very passive thing. It's very passive. There's no thought. You don't have to meditate. You don't have to be there. You don't have to focus on your breathing. No, just be an empty container, an empty vessel that has the fundamental faith that you're gonna be okay if the present moment lives in you. And it can be any kind of feeling. It can be a trauma. If we're really fully available, it could be a trauma from your past that could emerge. And I say that it's important to have the faith because this trauma wants to be released from you. You want to evolve and to feel better. I feel that the human being wants to evolve. We have this innate, primal need to evolve. And we don't have to make an effort to evolve. I think that we have to surrender to it, like I was saying, like listening, being passive, surrendering to it. And then things will start to emerge. And we can't evolve if we have all of these blockages in us and our fears, numbing our fears and then going to the fridge to eat something for emotional comfort with the food, or grabbing a drink, or going out and seeing friends when all you have to do is to sit with yourself. It seems like we need the coronavirus to finally do that. So if you sit and you listen, again, like maybe a trauma will come. If you have, again, like remembering to have the fundamental faith that you're gonna be fine, and allow this trauma to live in you by opening up to it, surrendering and melting. Feel like you're melting and melting to allow these things to emerge from the cold. Maybe they were somewhere cold in you, somewhere in your body that's been, let's say, like I'm symbolizing here, calcified or like icy. You want to defrost these places in you, and then they will emerge. And by fully opening, knowing that you're gonna be fine, you may cry, or you may scream, or you may laugh, or you may feel moments of bliss, like total bliss. And that's very good. That's very good for the body. That's very good for you as a person to evolve in maturity. I think that this is one of the ways that the human being evolves, by fully opening up and not be afraid to feel. And by doing that, you learn how to feel. You learn how to be with yourself. By doing that, we learn how to be, how to be with ourselves. instead of being conditioned and reacting. Again, like going to the fridge and getting something to eat just like that because we don't, some place in us doesn't feel good. And by learning how to be, okay, by learning how to deal with these new feelings, or how to be in the present moment that everybody talks about, but I feel like they don't know what they're talking about, because being in the present moment is so important and different than, again, like it's different than me realizing that I'm here and I'm talking with in front of the camera right now. It's not realizing what's happening on the outside necessarily and shutting out the mind. It's for sure shutting off the mind, but also being fully inside of you. And this inside of us is, to me, an infinite well. And we can't reach the bottom because there's no bottom. But in order to go deeper and deeper and deeper, we have to start somewhere. We have to start by being available, at least, and having the faith that you're going to be fine if these intense feelings will come. Because life, to me, when you live in the real present moment, outside or inward, is very nice. It's very intense. Life becomes very, very intense like that. And unless we learn how to surrender to it and to open up and to feel, you won't feel this intensity. You will stay at the superficial, in the superficial like aspect of life. So it's important to me to to open up and to feel, because it's by feeling that you will release what's been blocked in you, and it's by feeling and processing, allowing things to be processed very passively, that we get rid of our addictions, and we get rid of our overconsumption, and we get rid of our wanting to impress somebody or to become somebody. Because there's nothing to become, there's nobody to become, there's nobody to impress. Life can be so rich if you allow yourself to surrender to yourself and to discover who you are, and to allow these feelings that have been trapped over the years, these layers, to unlayer them, layering them, like I said before, by fully listening and being present in the present moment inside of you. The present moment can be very much hidden from you because we're not used to be in it. But by surrendering and by melting and knowing that you're gonna be fine if you feel what's in you, that's when you start feeling the present moment. And it can be very intense, like I said. It can be also very scary, but there's a lot of good that comes with the scariness. There's a lot of it's so interesting, especially even if you feel all the sadness that has been blocked throughout the years, because maybe, I don't know, maybe you had a bad childhood, or maybe somebody said something to you one day, but you didn't have the emotional maturity to know how to deal with it, so you shut it off. So by opening up and allowing it to come and giving yourself love, knowing that you're gonna be fine with the faith that you have, giving yourself love and fully feeling it and cry it. This is how we learn how to become humans. This is how we learn how to become humans, how to mature. And to me, it's infinite. There's no cap, there's no it doesn't end somewhere. Because the more we learn, the more we can learn, and the more we can learn, it's infinite, it's so beautiful. Yeah. So try to do that instead of consuming, instead of going and consuming the earth. Like planet Earth is breathing now, and we don't need so much. I think that now is a good time if everybody is locked in their place. Then that's a good time to even stop learning whatever you're learning, procedural learning. This is what I'm talking about, like learning a new language or learning how to paint or learning a new job. All of these are very good, but I think that we're really behind in knowing how to be with ourselves and how to feel. So now is the time, to me. It's a very good time. So try to do that if you can.